Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Yes, I do have a minor head cold. I'm on a treatment for it. My mum, oh, what a nightmare it turned out to be. Talk about, catching international flights and all the rest of it. Even being masked up, caught a minor head cold. I'm on medication. Hopefully it'll clear up really quickly. My mum has actually been in hospital, which is actually quite good considering I've got this, as her temperature spiked after she received some blood and platelets on Friday. Hopefully she's coming home tomorrow. After being on IV antibiotics, etc., and receiving some more platelets. So, things are happening, and bravo for universal healthcare. None of it has cost a thing. So thank you. Okay, entertainment only. I mean, to put it, she's been paying taxes for all of her 80-something years. And this last 12, 14 months is the only time she's ever been in hospital except for giving birth to her 3 children. So she's getting her taxes worth back again. Okay, entertainment only. What I want to have a look at, I've just done a cleansing of the cards. I want to have a look at Netanyahu. Net's request for a pardon from the president on the back of a request by the Orange Twerp for a pardon from the Israeli president. He is claiming, Net is claiming that it is to bring stability because the fact that he's up on these corruption charges is causing conflict within Israel. I'm just going to put it out there. Actually, to convict him would be the best thing that they could do to resolve the internal conflict that's going on. Before the attack on Gaza, and I'm just going to put it out there, that was all because to try and he was up for re-election, and the elections got paused, and every time he comes up to an actual court case, gee, shock horror, orders a strike on somewhere else, or had food poisoning, or happened to be overseas meeting his mate, the Orange Twerp, etc. So now he's run out of excuses. The trial is still going ahead, and he is asking for a presidential pardon. Okay, this is really interesting because this is a tipping point moment where he is either held accountable for his fraud and corruption charges. His wife had already been put up for fraud and corruption and found guilty and then pardoned by, I suspect, her husband. If he is, so it is a tipping point for Israel and for the world. If he is pardoned, then it's basically saying that these dictators, and we know who we're talking about, are above the law and can get away with anything. If he is held accountable, then you're ending up with a scenario like Bolsonaro in Brazil, where he was convicted and sent to prison for 27 years, and the country is a much more peaceful place. Bolsonaro tried to instigate a coup when he lost the election. So this is really a tipping point, not only in Israel, but on the world stage as well. So we've got here some sort of ruling coming down, but the Ten of Swords as well. The swords are poised. So I want us to have a look to see whether he will get a pardon and see which way it goes, because this is very much, so now the Orange Twerps also come out and said all these pardons under Biden are illegal because he used an auto pen. Pretty sure the Twerp didn't sign every one of those 1600 January the 6th pardons, but also since then he's pardoned the president of wherever he was, I can't remember, who was convicted in the US and sent to prison for 45 years, who was a drug lord. He's also pardoned a fraudster that diddled people of $1.6 billion. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Really, the pardoning system really needs to have an overhaul in the US as well. Okay, let's have a look. Netanyahu has requested a pardon from the President of Israel. How's that going to go for Netanyahu? Because it really, really is tipping point as to whether these misogynistic autocrats can simply break the law constantly, willy-nilly, and not be held accountable, or so are they above the law, or are they subject to law, international and local? So let's have a look, because he knows he's been convicted by the International Criminal Court, but he knows he's guilty of ordering genocide, etc. So let's have a look. Netanyahu, there's something that's fallen out. I'm not sure what it is. How's it going to go for him with his request for a presidential pardon? How's it going to go? My guides will tell me when, and they just told me, stop shuffling. Okay, come on down. Let's have a look. Right, how's this going to go for him? 5 of Pentacles. The signifier. He's up on corruption charges, money corruption charges, and out in the cold. So how's it going to go for him? I don't think he's going to get it. I think the argument against is going to be more powerful. Now, remembering there were huge protests before the attack on genocide started, when he tried to remove the Supreme Court judges that were the ones that were hearing this court case. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis came out and protested about his attempt to remove the Supreme Court justices. So yeah, this is last ditch, I think, for him with the 5 of Pentacles. Challenged by the 9 of Cups. Again, be careful what you wish for, because you got that little rat up in the top corner pooping in the cup. Be careful what you wish for. I think he's used up all his all his options. Hope this is this is right, and it's just not wishful thinking. At the base, we've got the 4 of Swords, forced to retreat in the face of the truth. In the past, the 5 of Cups, so it's 2 5s. 5 of Cups, loss, disappointment, emotional loss. I don't think he's going to get it. The 9 of Wands. Sorry about the light. Crowning this reading. The 9 of Wands is very much about the guardrails standing and the order coming down, and the light is shining on that person presenting this order coming down. The guardrails are holding and the order is coming down. Surrendering to the Constitution. See where this goes. 8 of Cups. Again, 3 cups spilt, 3 cups spilt. Walking away from the request. Got the full moon here. Are we coming up for a full moon? Externally for Netanyahu, no, Tower moment. Internally for him, the Fool, new journey, foolish, trying to juggle, hopes and fears, Ace of Wands, powerful fiery message being brought. Right, got the outcome. 9 of Pentacles, might find himself in a gilded cage. 8 of Wands, a lot of information coming forward very quickly in regards to this, and justice is going to be served. And he's not going to like it with that 4 of Cups. And we've got the Sun card. Everything being revealed, that he would like to be kept hidden, about money changing hands with that 6 of Pentacles, and it's going to be really eye-opening, emotionally overwhelming, cleansing, as we've got the Lovers card, as we are in this fading misogynistic energy. Yeah, I don't think he's going to, don't think it's going to go his way. I don't think he's going to get a pardon. We've got the Chariot, the military, we've got the Seven of Swords, the lies, deceit, betrayal, and then you've got the King of Swords, you've got whistleblowers, nightmare situation, and judgment being brought down. You've got the Queen of Cups there, the Devil, and the Supreme Court. The Devil versus the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's not looking at the Devil here. The highest court, I'm not sure whether it's called Supreme in Israel, they're not looking at the Devil, they're moving on from this Devil energy. You've got the Three of Cups, you've got the abuse of power, betrayal, deceit, lies, the wheel turning, and then the Ten of Swords falling. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go Netanyahu's way. Let me put it that way. I don't think his appeal to the president is going to work. Gosh, I hope I'm right in regards to that. Let's have a look at that. I have always seen that he and his wife will take the Hitler way out. Ava and Aldolf, the mustachioed man, rather than being taken prisoner, they chose an alternative way. But let's see how this goes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right. How is the court? So I don't think he's going to get a pardon. How is the court in Israel going to rule on these corruption charges? So I don't think he's going to get the pardon. I think the president is going to let him face. Right. Queen of Swords. Cutting through. Internally, they're looking at strategies, but we've got the peace here. I mean, gosh, the ceasefire, so-called ceasefire, yeah, so just one side can keep bombing the other. The Queen of Swords is the signifier here. Internally, they want the truth. They want to bring the truth forward, the Supreme Court. The challenge is there is a decision, a legal decision that needs to be made. The foundation, so how are they going to rule on this Eight of Swords? The foundation is they legally have their hands tied, I suspect, because following the rule of law. In the past, you've got the military action. Crowning this reading, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. Again, a queen, this is internal. Again, the light is shining right on her, bringing forward documentation. You've got the Emperor, the dictator, facing off against the Emperor, the immediate future. We've got externally the lies, deceit, betrayal. Internally, again, you've got the Supreme Court here, internally considering this. Seven of Swords, hopes and fears. They recognise the abuse of power and they want no part of it. They won't want no part of empowering this abusive, wannabe, autocratic dictator. I think they've observed that if they let him get away with this, he basically can get away then with anything. It's like granting the orange twerp immunity. Okay, the outcome, the Wheel of Fortune, the fading misogynistic, the gift, continuing the court case from the past, the Eight of Cups. I hope that's not a walking away from the case. I hope that's a walking away from this misogynistic energy. The Nine of Pentacles, the Gilded Cage, and then we've got the best of with the Star card and working across the aisle. Decision that needs to be made, either they shove it under the rug or they take the path of strength. bringing the ship, the Three of Wands. They're bringing the ship in and revealing hidden secrets. Also be information coming from overseas about hidden agendas to do with the orange twerp and poor choices, money, secret money, loss, disappointment, heartbreak with that Five of Cups, and then out in the cold and the ruling coming down with that King of Swords. It is going to be a nightmare situation, but I think the strength is, oh gosh, I hope I'm right there. Really, really hope I'm right. Because we've got the Queen of Cups, the Judgment, the Whistleblower, but some infighting, manipulation, money coming in, manipulation from overseas. Really, really hope. So the Supreme Court is still in this energy, the Two of Swords and that Two of Wands energy as well. So I don't think he's going to get the pardon, and then it's back in the top court of Israel's hands. I think they're going to surrender to the guardrails of legislation with this Two of Swords and then the Nine of Wands. The guardrails, they're going to fall back on the rule of law. Will Netanyahu be handed over to the International Criminal Court? Will there be moves to hand him over to the International Criminal Court? Will there be moves to hand him over? Okay, just do 3. Again, falling back on the rule of law. 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands, and then the Sun card. Well, it's the biggest yes card in the deck. You've got the 7 of Wands. A lot of information here. A lot of fiery information coming forward. 7 of Swords, 2 sevens. And then the 8 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords. Arrest. I think they might. I really think they might. The past, the investigation into the snake in the past shining a light. You've got governance here, false victory, money trails, unexpected information being brought forward, manipulation, infighting. But you've also then got the Ace of Wands, the Fool, the Death card, the Sacrifice card. I think they might intend to. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. As far as actually, I'll grab some yes/no cards because the Canada with the F-35s versus the Gripens. Now, I'll just do a little pull at the end. Apparently, Canada's already paid for 16 F-35s, but it's pretty much like the Australian paying for the subs. I don't know that they've received them yet. The difference being the F-35s can only be maintained in the US, can only be built in the US. Apparently, they don't work real well in the cold. Versus the Gripens that can be made in Canada, that will actually be, delivered when paid for because they're made in Canada and do work well in the cold because they're coming from Swedish technology. But Canada's already paid for 16 of the F-35s, and the government does have to consider that this particular regime will not last forever. So let's have a look. I really hope they go for the Gripens, but let's have a look. Will the Canadian government order the Gripen fighters? No. I think that, again, I think they're going to go for the F-35s, which really, really, really annoys me. Hopefully I'm wrong again. Okay, love to you all. Take care.